Hello and welcome to Productivity Nerd, a podcast all about getting shit done, hopefully in an elegant way that doesn't leave you too broken. In our crazy worlds, we're all about balancing the need to work enough to make ends meet, enough not to annoy our bosses, but also enough that we feel like we've done enough, which can be a whole different psychological and emotional ballgame, along with the human need to rest and stay well. Plus, on top of that, we'd quite like to enjoy ourselves, maybe just a little bit along the way, spending quality time with those we love. I, for one, love hearing about how people get that balance and work more efficiently so they have more time to do the things that they love. Hi, and welcome to Productivity Nerd. It is great to have you here. On today's episode, Claire and I talk about mind management, not time management, by David Kadavy. If you are a creative type or just someone who needs to innovate, this is a really good one for you. You might also learn why you should sometimes work on the top floor of a skyscraper or in a dark and slightly dingy cafe, preferably with excellent hot chocolate. I really hope you enjoy our chat. Hello and welcome to Productivity Nerd. I'm Kathy Soulsby and I'm joined by the lovely Claire Ennion.
Hello.
And this might be the first time you've seen us on video. We are real, actual people. Not loving the video from
It's all new.
It's all new.
Yeah.
It's all new. But if you are listening to this on your podcast platform of choice, you could go to YouTube and watch it on your YouTube only platform of option. If you want to see us. Otherwise, just listen to us. Absolutely fine. So today we're talking about a book that has I described it to Claire a minute ago as one of the shittest titles I've ever come across. Mind Management, Not Time Management, a book by David Kadavy. I mean, it kind of does what it says on the tin, right? It's mind management, not time management. But God, it's a shit title. It doesn't really roll off
The tongue.
It really doesn't, does it? Anyway, but he wrote this book because he moved to Colombia. From basically, he was a sort of tech guy in the States. But he felt like he couldn't think properly in that environment. So literally decamped to a different continent, which is, I mean, I'm a productivity nerd, but it's excessive.
Yeah.
Excessive, I would say. A bit much of an extreme step. But a lot of the book focuses on productivity in the way of creativity, because obviously he's a writer and a tech designer of some description, but creativity and productivity are what we're talking about here, which is quite similar to a lot of the stuff we talk about. But it doesn't just apply to writers and artists. You know, every time in all our work, we have to think of new stuff, creative stuff, problem solve, which we need headspace to do, which we talk about a lot. So that's kind of the important thing, right? And actually, Kadavy says that if a task can be completed in a series of steps, like it's just a process, then pretty soon it's going to be automated or it's going to be done by AI. So using our brains is the most important thing. And his quote is, "Your edge as a human is not about doing something quickly. No matter how fast you move, a computer can move faster. Your edge as a human is thinking the thoughts behind the doing."
Deep.
Deep, deep. And he quotes Naval Ravikant as well, saying, "Earn with your mind, not your time." So, assuming that we do not want to move to Colombia, although it does sound great.
Nice to go.
I would go. It sounds lovely. Assuming we don't want to change those continents just to be more productive. His book is essentially about working differently, more humanely. So we're going to noodle through some of the ideas in the book. It's quite a chunky book, so we won't hit all of it, but we'll start with the basics.
Let's go.
So first up, clock time versus event time. And this one takes me back. Do you remember 4,000 Weeks, Oliver Burkeman, who was talking about, you know, doing things based on the natural flow of things, like, you know, you milk the cows when the cows need milking versus you do it at 5 a.m. Okay. So event time is doing things based on the natural flow, as well as what we normally use, which most people is clock time, which is, you know, 3 o'clock, the train is going to leave. And non-clock time is a lot more intuitive. So I'll write until I've kind of run out of steam rather than I'll write until 12:15. So that's event time. All well and good. But obviously, if you have a call at 9:30, you need to be ready and primed for that call at 9:30. So you have to use clock time. But clock time isn't necessarily very conducive to creativity. So like we've talked before about, you know, how we try and block time in people's diaries to give them a bit of headspace. But saying, right, okay, you've got between 10 and 11, have a great idea, crack on.
Yeah, it's
Isn't going to
hard.
work, is it? So that sort of free and easy kind of way of thinking and way of working is event time. So as he says, you can't schedule a great idea for Tuesday at 3 p.m, but you can design your life so ideas have room to show up. So that's what this book is mostly about, creating the environment and the ways of working and the ways of being so that ideas or words come about in a natural way. Yeah. So Kadavy suggests using whichever mode is most helpful to the type or state you are in. So for example, so think writing. So he's basically writing this about writing, like the creative process of writing, but it applies to anything.
Yeah.
But he basically has Monday and Tuesday with no meetings because that is when he's at his most creative after like a weekend of rest. And he doesn't want to have to work in clock time by having the odd meeting at 12 o'clock. He's got to break his flow. Or can't even get into flow perhaps because he's like, oh yeah, just got to keep an eye because I need to be on that call.
Watching,
yeah, exactly. So Monday, Tuesday, he has no calls whatsoever and he can just meander along as his energy sees fit. So clock time is about control and event time is about flow. And he also talks in a big way about time blocks versus mental states. So this is the sort of very much mind management versus time management thing. So the core of his idea is that we all move through different mental states during the day and also during the week, actually. So instead of forcing ourselves into strict schedules or time boxes based on clock time, we should try and do tasks that match our current state of mind and a bit more event time. So he has 7 states. So the first one is prioritize. When you're clear-headed and you can make decisions about what matters most, so planning, really, strategic thinking and planning. Number 2 is explore. So you're curious, you're open to new ideas, you're brainstorming, you're just chucking it all out there, seem, not too organized, just reading, researching, just generating lots of options, not narrowing anything down. And then research, which is a more specific deep dive into perhaps some of the things you've been exploring. So it's a little bit more structured. And looking for facts to perhaps back up some of your wild and crazy ideas that you have while exploring. And then ignite. So in his world, this is writing time, right? This is the creative fire time. You're inspired and bursting with ideas and you are drafting stuff. You're writing, you are brainstorming, you're innovating, you're doing the thing, mostly. And then after that is polish, which if you're a writer is editing, I guess, but it's lower energy, but it's still pretty focused. You're refining it, you're going through it, you're maybe perfecting existing work. And then you've got our favorite, administrate. So this is the sort of clear the decks mode, right? Sorting out emails, sorting out your calendar, booking appointments, hoovering, all those good things. And you can use that when you're like mentally a bit jaded, but you still need to get stuff done. But it's a sort of slightly turn your brain off and do the more mundane things. And lastly, recharge, which is crucial. So napping, walking, stretching, having a chinwag with a friend, going for a coffee. This is your like creative fuel being restored, if you like. And as he says, rest isn't what you do when the work is done. Rest is part of the work.
Absolutely.
So this is that going for a dog walk, switching your brain off for a bit and just allowing your natural
energy recharge.
Yeah, exactly. So thinking about your week, where are your sort of peaks and troughs and bits of your week?
I would say I'm energized Tuesday. Monday's a bit of got to get back into it. Energized Tuesday to Thursday, Friday. Oh, I need to
lie down.
Need to lie down.
Yeah, I am pretty much useless by Friday, as I've said before. So Friday is my admin day, actually. I do numbers and admin on a Friday because I've got enough brain power to do that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be able to write, I don't think. And I also have what I call Fuck It All Friday, which means I try and keep my schedule pretty loose. But maybe I need to be doing that on a Monday and Tuesday for writing. And actually, Friday could be better for meetings because if I'm not creating
stuff, yeah, you would be more productive on the Monday, Tuesday.
Maybe. But everyone seems to want to talk to you on a Monday and Tuesday, don't they?
It's because they've all been thinking over the weekend.
Thinking very hard about important stuff.
Yeah, and they just want to get you on Monday.
Yeah. I generally don't. I'm not. I quite energized on a Monday?
No, I'm not. And I know Tuesday I am.
Mondays I'm usually pretty good, I would say. But yeah, by Thursday, Friday, I've definitely lost a bit of mojo, I would say. So yeah, so they're the 7 states or types of work.
Yeah.
And there is a little bit more later about how they play into and how you can. Oh, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. But there's also 4 stages of creativity. So these mental states are kind of tied to the classic 4 stages of creativity. So he didn't come up with these. These are they're initially written by Graham Wallace. And they explain how creative work unfolds. And it does link quite tightly. So preparation. So this is feeding your brain with stuff. So reading, observing, making notes, creating raw material. It's not about doing the thing, and it's not about narrowing your focus down. It's about literally being quite happy to go off on tangents and just go wild and go wide. And then incubation is when you walk away, you go and have a nap, go and have a coffee. You consciously let go, but your brain is just like percolating away in the background. Love a bit of that.
Yeah.
It's the walking and the, doing all that. And then illumination, when hopefully the idea pops into your head and you go, ha, and the solution to the problem comes to you. And you can't force it, but you can try and make space for it by doing all those nice things and putting in place prompts to make it happen. And then verification. So this is sort of the polish element, which is refining, testing, editing, seeing if the idea works. Which is still requires a bit of discipline. So those 4 areas. Walking the dogs, good place for ideas for you, or percolating for you.
Yeah, I think on the way there I'm spaced out, and then on the way back it all starts to, because I'm relaxed,
Yes.
things start to sort of come through and you think, oh, that might work, or oh, I must do that, or I must call Kathy and discuss this. So yeah, so definitely, but I think it not instantly.
No, same. And one of the things that he does when he's writing, he creates himself a whole schedule once he's moved to Colombia. And what he does late at night is he sort of has a board with, a load of post-its and stickies and wild ideas. And he does that every night, kind of the wild preparation, if you like, of just
Brain dump,
noodling into little rabbit holes of stuff on the internet, maybe, but chucking it all down, not trying to turn it into anything. And then, of course, he goes to bed and has a big sleep.
the best sleep, because it's not in there.
Yes. And when he wakes up in the morning, then he does his writing, and hopefully overnight it's all kind of slotted itself into.
Yeah,
nice,
I see how it works.
Yeah, no, it is quite good. I'm not sure for me doing it last thing at night would be good. I think
I would be the other end. The morning, cup of coffee, sat outside in the garden, writing things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he also has this theory that the first hour when you're awake, he's really done some research on this, Claire. It's quite specific. So he was getting up and he was sitting in this little flat in Colombia, and he didn't want to look at the view because it was distracting. So he literally sits facing this white wall and writes. I know. The man is very, very, very hot on not having distractions, right? Even like a picture. It's too much of a distraction.
Wow.
Yeah, seriously.
Does he get distracted? But then this comes down to character.
Yes.
Is he easily distracted? Is he a night owl?
Or you're just flaky like pastry and just
so this comes down to character, some of this, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, there is that. But yeah, but he actually says so that before you have your first cup of tea or cup of coffee, actually that state where you're slightly dopey is actually really good for.
Well, I know what I'm like. I'm bashing into doors.
Okay, mate, could you lie in bed and just write something? Do you think is that doable? Not even a shopping list.
No, God. Anyway.
No, I mean I need tea, then I need a Wordle, and then I need to throw some toys for the dogs, and then common sense may eke in after about half an hour.
That's a bit too too soon from opening the eyes.
Yes, but he literally writes, and he writes any old gibberish. That's not writing for him. That's just like almost like stretching his writing brain.
Expressive. He likes to put it on paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
He sounds a character.
Yes. I mean, very determined in the ways of the productivity nerd, I would say.
And also to be that disciplined, to just look at a wall, I mean, it's amazing.
He does have other areas where he is a bit more loosey-goosey. We will get to those.
Okay.
So yeah, there is a little bit of, being a monk and staring at a wall. There's some. It's not just about that.
Okay.
So good.
Well, I'm intrigued.
Yes. So Kadavy introduces this idea of passive genius. So your brain is still poodling away on stuff when you're not actively thinking about it, which is great. Therefore, rest is a big part of the work, actually. We're not very good at that, are we? We're like, oh God, I can't. I feel like work.
Yeah, but I've got this thing, it's like Dom Jolly with the phone, and he's walking up and down. People that say, oh, I do 15-hour day works. And I look at them and I think, well, I bet you've not been productive.
Yeah.
And just because you shout the loud and say, I've sat in my office for that amount of time, doesn't mean you've done much.
No. Or come up with any good ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And the other thing people try and do is jump straight from preparation to verification. So you have to work through the 4 stages. Otherwise, you're doing yourself a disservice, really. Now, this is my favourite bit. This is my favourite bit, mostly because it involves beer. But so physical environment. So when he's doing different types of work, this blew my mind, and I'm like, oh, this is great. When he was doing his planning, so his first step, so when he was sort of, I guess looking at a book and going, what's the overview, or what's my timeline for writing, the big picture stuff, he would take himself to the top of a skyscraper, because you've got that big
amazing view.
So no walls, no blank walls.
Yeah.
And it just gets your brain into that big picture mode. But when he's doing editing, so he's looking at, grammatical things and detail, he went to a cafe with a really low ceiling, a bit dingy, because it focuses you inwards.
Oh, see, the cafe would be the wrong place for me.
For
too distracting, yeah.
Well, he managed it, and he likes a white wall, so,
Good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah.
But so low ceilings, better for focused detail work. Tall ceilings, big open air, better for big thinking, strategic ideas. And my hero, some types of work he has a beer.
Well, there you go.
I mean,
he's gone up in my expectations.
Wine, just the one for some. And then there's a pretty disgusting sounding green tea thing somewhere in the mix, which I would like, yeah, no, it's fine. You can keep that.
Yeah.
Keep that. But do you have any rituals around like having certain places or beverages or whatever with different types of work?
No.
No, I know. I'm just thinking, that's a really hard question. I'm like, do I? Because when we first did Grace Beverley's book, she had that lovely little graph, didn't she, about how big the crisis is versus how compass mentis she needed to be versus how much booze she could drink.
And we were talking about how late we were prepared to do something, and then
whether it was
to the pub.
Yes, and whether it was worth doing it because our brain power is kind of just decreasing as the hours go on. Yeah. And there's definitely something for me about I do try and work just at my desk so that my brain is in my desk. In my desk? You know what I mean?
At my desk.
Yeah. I don't very often sit in the living room and work.
No, I rarely do that. And if I do, it's because I'm tired and I'm at that stage where my brain capacity is no longer there and I need a bit of comfort, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And so I know that I still need to be available, but I'm just not in that mind frame.
Not actively doing, you're just there in case, as it were.
Yeah. But that is a real rarity. And that might be because I'm coming down with something or I've not slept.
Yeah. So just managing your energy.
Yeah, managing my energy basically. But I will always be at my desk.
For proper work.
Mm.
Yeah, no, agreed. To the point where I can get a bit twitchy, so I've just had my study decoration. I had to work in the kitchen. Really discombobulating. Really
Yeah, I
did.
bet it did, yeah.
Whereas I know some people love going out and co-working in all different places, and I don't find I can get as focused when I'm not got everything in the right place. And
I like co-working, but I know that I won't be that productive that day.
you take the social aspect, but know that your productivity is going to take a bit of a hit that day, but it kind of balances out because
Exactly.
we don't get that social aspect very often, do we?
No. So
Generally speaking. Right, you're gonna love this next bit. Don't laugh. You're laughing already. Slippy and Grippy. She's already gone.
He's great. He's great, this guy.
He's wild. He did actually in his pre-book writing, we'd get on great with him. We'd go out and have a lovely glass of wine. He created an app that went along with Google Calendar to help people manage their time. So
did he?
Yeah. I don't think it still exists anymore. I think it's been blended in. But anyway, I was going to go and have a little Google, but I never got around to it. See, going off down a rabbit hole. It's like, oh, does that still exist? Let me go and have a look. I meant to, I didn't. But yeah, Slippy. Slippy equipment is something like a laptop or a phone. So it's really easy to get distracted because when you're on a laptop, you've got the internet and you've got, oh, I'm just going to go Google that thing, right?
Yeah.
And the reason I didn't go Google that thing is because I was reading on my Kindle. So my Kindle doesn't have.
You couldn't slide to.
You couldn't slip off and casually go look. I was on my Kindle to keep me focused while I was reading. So Slippy, easy to amble off. Grippy, like a Kindle, helps you stay on track. Or Remarkable, be another one. Or better still, notebook and paper, right?
Yeah, good old
pen
and paper.
Notebook and paper. The downside of the more grippy things is that they tend to be quite rough form, so you're very unlikely to get straight from Grippy to publisher, right? Because if you're handwriting
notes or something.
Yeah, you're going to have to then type them up at some point. So it's probably an extra stage. But if it keeps you focused or if it's the right part of the process.
Probably makes it more creative. So you're writing it down and then you tweak it when you're typing it.
Exactly. Yeah. And for those early stages where it's all about creativity and not funneling inwards, having the freedom to scribble and mind map and excuse me. Yeah,
that works, yeah.
Yeah. Grippy, Slippy. But you pick your Slippy and Grippy tool depending on what bit of work you're doing and how distracted you want to be, right? And you can have rules about your kit. So for example, he's got a tablet and he doesn't have social media apps on it. And I'm the same actually with my tablet. I don't have social media on it. I can either write or I can do emails, but I can't, amble off to Instagram and lose however long. So you can make your tools a bit more grippy if you need to. And there's loads of apps, aren't there? There's things. I come across a brick.
No, I haven't.
Hang on. Got one here somewhere. That's not a brick. Where's my brick? That's a brick.
Oh.
So it goes along with an app and it basically, you tap your phone on it and it blocks all distractions for a period of time until you unbrick it, a little brick.
I love that.
Yes, great for the children. Ding!
How long can you do it for?
Long as you like.
So you set it up in the app.
You set it up and you unlock it by tapping it back again.
So you've got to literally, as a parent, carry the brick around your neck.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, or have it on your desk.
Yeah, that's great.
In the car.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love that.
Yeah, so that's brick. But there are apps that you can have without a brick that do similar things.
Well, my phone turns itself off at a certain point in the evening, so I don't get any notifications, texts, anything until my alarm goes off the next morning.
That's clever. I mean, I have that a bit on. I think I have phone calls blocked. I'm not sure I've got all big, but most of my notifications are turned off anyway, to be honest.
Yeah. So at a certain point in the evening, I think it's 8:30, 9 o'clock, I don't get notifications, no texts. So if I'm mid-flow of a text, my friends know I'm out for the evening.
Brilliant.
She'll contact me at 5:30 in the morning.
Yes. Oh, gone.
Yeah.
Yes. And we've moved on. We've done it round the wrong order. But the first hour rule about, well, sort of. We haven't. We've talked about rolling out of bed and pouring ourselves a cup of ambition. But I'm not sure I could do anything without tea. I do quite like the idea of the first hour of your day being creative, but I'm not sure I could actually sacrifice my first cup of tea for an hour.
I like the first hour for myself.
Peace and quiet.
Peace and quiet. Breakfast news. And that's it. No like laptops, phones or anything like that. I just like that hour of silence of just for myself.
Yes, I mean I don't so much have silence because I have two border collies who throw things at my head.
Well, and I've got a Dachshund and a Labrador.
It's not as zen as I'm making it sound.
No, the same here, but it is just me downstairs, and that is more powerful, I think, for me to start my day than anything.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get coming to your desk and spending the first hour before you look at emails or before you get engrossed in there. Quite like that.
It's important to get to your desk before you've prioritised yourself.
Well, you know that later on you're going to have a nap and a beer. So it all balances out. It's a work style. So so that was an interview I did with Alex and Lizzie all about work styles, and this is very much conducive to this, right? Because it's all about, by no means is he working a 9 to 5 day.
No, he's not.
He is doing whatever time he wakes up.
He's at 11 p.m. sticking notes on the wall.
Yeah.
Whereas I've been in bed for 2 hours.
And 4 o'clock hanging margaritas out of the top floor of a skyscraper.
What? I could do that.
I could do that. I mean, I'm not sure I'd have my notebook and pen out. I'd probably more just be chillaxing. But yes. So interesting book, interesting concepts. Very useful for people who are trying to create something quite big, I think. Because we get so into our 9 to 5 mindset, and actually creativity doesn't really work like that. And it's quite hard to break the box.
And I agree with that. I agree that there's a 24-hour window, and just because there's this 9 to 5 concept, I do agree, but I think you have to have boundaries as well.
Yeah, but if they're self-made, it's different if you've got other people relying on you for things, and there are other things in your life that you have to stop and do, like, feed people or horses or whatever. But if you have got the flexibility and the freedom to just meander along at your own with
that
your
would be
state.
Lovely.
Yeah. And so he talks about there's two ways of thinking about it. So there's I am in X state, which state? Now I'm in this state, whatever this state may be. Maybe I'm feeling really energetic, or maybe I'm feeling really whatever that state may be. What is the best type of thing for me to be doing in this state? So if say I've planned on a Friday to do all my finance stuff and dig out all my receipts and all the rest of it, but actually on a Friday morning, all of a sudden I'm like full of beans and I'm like, wow, ready to go. Instead of just doing what I said I was going to do, I might go, do you know what? Actually, I feel really zingy. I'm going to go and write a load of content or write a podcast or whatever I'm going to do. So it's about seeing your state, choosing the work, or the other way around. If you know there is a certain state that works for you, doing the things that get you into the right state, like going and sitting in a cafe, bit dingy, nice coffee, bit of cake, Greek tea, whatever else. And doing your editing. So there's two prongs.
Two prongs, yeah.
Either you get yourself into the state you need to be.
I would be the one get into the state.
Yeah, but you would.
I'm not spontaneous. I'm not fun. So I know what I'm like.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm a creature of habit.
Oh God. Oh dear me. But it's about working with your brain, and God love him, I think he could have spent a little bit more time working on the title of the book, because it's just hard to say.
Well, he comes across like a real character to me.
Yeah.
And obviously is quite spontaneous. He's moved to Colombia.
I think he might have moved back now.
Oh, has he? Okay.
I think he only moved to write a book.
Well, that's incredible. Where shall I go for a period of time?
I went to a fairly ropey seaside resort somewhere on the south coast to write a bit of mine. It was definitely not Colombia.
Where are you going next?
And I've done some writing in Dorset, but I feel I should up the ante.
Yeah, I think you should.
I've been playing it.
Ibiza, go to Ibiza.
Far too old for Ibiza.
Well, you could do the
what?
The yoga.
They do like that Ibiza? I thought I just did like mad parties in Ibiza.
No, it's all Zen these days.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, can I just go back to Bali for that?
Oh,
I
yeah.
could write in Bali.
Well, I never got to Bali, but that's another story.
Sorry. Yes, sorry. Bad
Yes,
topic.
he sounds great, and I think it would be so much fun to meet him in person.
Well, last time we did a podcast, one time we did a podcast, I ended up interviewing.
You did.
Graham Carter, so maybe
if you're listening.
We haven't said anything horrible about it.
No, we haven't.
Fabulous and very cool, and we love high-rise drinking and stuff.
We'll meet you in London somewhere.
Yes, there's lots of high.
Come to London.
Yeah, come to London. I think he's Chicago based now. He's not in Colombia.
If he can go to Colombia, he can come to London.
It's a really productive place. Really.
We know some great skyscrapers in London to stare at.
Yes.
Yeah,
and probably quite a lot of dingy cafes. Rumsey's in Wendover is the dingiest of dingy cafes.
It is. That's where we met.
Oh yeah. Excellent hot chocolate. So that could be a new ritual.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I have been talking about that hot chocolate lately. I should go. Maybe I need a new ritual. I mean, I do quite like going and planning in cafes. I do my quarterly planning somewhere else because I find it better for my brain to be out of the office. Rumsey's it is.
Rumsey's.
Not a paid-for advertisement, folks. Just a lovely coffee shop near us who does the most amazing hot chocolate. It's basically like melted chocolate with a teaspoon of milk. It's great. It's like a little espresso.
It's very nice.
I can feel my heart rate going. Just
definitely an autumn thing.
Yeah. It's a Halloweeny vibe.
Yeah. I feel like we've gone off track.
Do you? Have we not been very focused?
No, we've totally lost focus.
The good news is we were wrapping up anyway.
We were.
So anyway, in summary, it's all about respecting your mental state. If your mental state isn't right for the task at hand, then change that state by using various tools and tricks. So yeah, that was Mind Management, Not Time Management by David Kadavy, the world's worst named book. Thanks so much for joining me. It's been grand.
Thank you.
So that was my chat with Claire about Mind Management, Not Time Management by David Kadavy. I really hope you enjoyed it. For more information, do go check out the book. It's a nice read, it's an easy read, and I think particularly for creative types, but for everyone who needs to do some innovating and that kind of malarkey, I think it's worth delving into. I'm going to sum it up with a quote that comes from the man himself. Productivity isn't about cramming more into your day. It's about aligning your mind with the work that matters and letting everything else fall away. Great wise words. Strongly feel those. Thank you so much for listening. I'm Kathy Soulsby, and that was Productivity Nerd, a podcast about helping you do more of the right things efficiently so you can go away and live your best life outside of work. If you've enjoyed listening today, please do rate, review, and subscribe. It really helps people find us. Thank you.